it's pink.
Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. The puppy's upstairs crying, so Mark's gonna put her in her kennel. Happy Friday. I don't think that we've ever had a Friday bean land on Valentine's Day, and this year the Friday bean is gonna land on Valentine's Day, my birthday. I think it's gonna land like the day after Mark's birthday, so we got all kinds of fun stuff. But today I want to do something a little bit fun. There's not a whole lot to talk about other than, you know, that big Etsy article that everyone's freaking out about, the anatomy of a well-crafted Etsy listing. I already planned to cover that on Tuesday. And Pam and I covered it on the E-Rank channel yesterday if you want to go watch that. So I figured it would be beating a dead horse. When Pam's already covered it, I'm covering it Tuesday, and we covered it on the E-Rank channel. So I figured let's just do something fun today. If you're here to learn, we're probably not going to do a lot of learning today, though, I mean, you know, there's always things sprinkled in. I will admit that this game, I kind of threw it together because I was sick this week. So I had all these amazing plans for how I was going to build out this game, and it was going to be so much fun, and then I ended up having to rush it at the last minute. So it's not perfect, but I think it's really cute. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then afterwards, because, you know, like I said, I wasn't able to put as much time into it as I would like. Because of that, the game's a little bit shorter than I anticipated.
That's okay. It's a holiday episode.
Yeah, you know, sometimes these things draw out a little bit as we joke and have fun together, and you guys fill the chat. But in the event that we don't fill out the entire like time slot that we usually have for the Friday Bean, we'll answer some questions at the end. But yeah, are we? Let's see. I'm like looking at the chat. Happy Valentine's Day, Friday again. I know this month is flying by. Like, I cannot believe how fast
you can read the
February. Oh yeah, it's much closer over here. We have the two instances of the chat. Giant screen here, a screen here, and another screen here. We have 3 screens that we look at, and 1 bubbers. Let's see. Lots of nephew birthday today. Taylor's birthday was on the 8th. My birthday is on the 28th. I don't know what we're gonna do on my birthday. Okay, I missed something. What article? It's called The Anatomy of a Well-Crafted Etsy Listing. A lot of people, mostly because YouTubers keep saying, the algorithm changed, the algorithm changed. The algorithm didn't change. It didn't change. They're just being more transparent about things that they've never said before about the algorithm. But anyway, you guys will learn more about that on Tuesday, or pop over to the E-Rank channel and look at the live stream from yesterday if you can't wait till Tuesday. There are a couple things that Etsy's never said before about the algorithm that are, you know, interesting, things that apparently factor into our search ranking that they're just now starting to disclose. So that's cool that we get to know that, but it's nothing that I think that anybody's going to have to make major changes or anything like that. So, but again, we'll get to that on Tuesday. All right. My birthday's on the 28th too. Happy birthday, twins. Let's see, the whole year is going way too fast. I agree. All right, so Handmade Alpha Academy students, if you're here, you guys, unfortunately, are disqualified from participating in today's game. Mr. Moore, you will need to create polls with options 1, 2, and 3 in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and make yourself...
Sure, I know how to do that.
Down here?
Is it sure it's not in goal?
No. It's down at...
I'm working on it. Quit pointing.
Right there, the plus.
Set me off.
Ooh, I'm going to beat you up and then start a poll. And then, let's see, just 1, 2, and 3. And then the question can just be which seller. And maybe you could just copy that so you don't have to type it in.
The question will be on the screen. I don't need to put in a question.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I think that let me go ahead and get us ready to present full screen.
Present. There you go.
All right, and let's...
You ready?
Yes, I think it's working. Okay, so this is a game that I made up on the fly, and hopefully it's... some of these are challenging, some of them aren't, but, you know, they'll get progressively harder. In this game, I'm going to show you an Etsy product, and then I'm going to show you 3 different sellers, and you have to decide which seller is the seller of this particular product. So, and then, obviously I'll reveal which seller is correct.
HAA students are disqualified.
HAA students, you already know all these sellers because some of them are you are them. And many of you know these sellers because you're in the student campus with them. You know what? You guys can vote. You guys can, since it's just a poll, you guys, I don't mind. I don't mind if you guys vote. But if it's you in the pictures and you see that it's your shop or your item, don't vote on that one, okay?
Yeah, just be honest. If you know the person, if you know for a fact because you know the person's shop, just disqualify yourself from that question.
Yeah, if it's your best friend, obviously.
Or just anyone that you know because you know them.
Right, because HAA students, I mean, we all know each other, right? All right. Actually, there were a couple in here that it's like I've seen their shops, but maybe I haven't. I don't know. Not all HAA students message me or participate in the community. Sometimes they just decide to join HAA and they quietly go about taking the program and I don't hear from them, which is fine. I'm an introvert too. I understand. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get on to our first one. And like I said, these hopefully get progressively harder. Knowing you guys, you'll be able to get them right away. But let's go ahead and do it. And I do want to mention, HAA students, I was only able to pick like 7 of you. Many of you, because I've shown your shop so much.
Easy.
It's too easy. And some of you watermarked your photos with your shop names that had your first names in them. And there was no way that I could, you know what I mean? Because you have to match the name and the face of the person to the, anyway. So yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. First one, we have some Harvest Tea Loose Fall flavor. So this is this is an actual Etsy listing. It looks wonderful. This is a beautiful photo of some loose leaf tea. And your guys' job, you can go ahead and post the poll now. There will be a poll on screen. Your job is to decide if this lovely Harvest Tea is from Marcy, Donna, or Jill. So Marcy is 1, Donna is 2, and Jill is 3 because that keeps Mark from having to type everybody's names out separately every single time. So let's see. There are no prizes today, by the way.
It's just for fun.
It's just for fun. I wish that we could do prizes, but since it's like everybody has to vote, there's no way we can do it. But we are doing this while you guys are getting your votes in. We are doing this game for our monthly charity, which is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The link to donate is down below. And Mark, how much have we made on that? I believe it's actually
like 700, 500.
Yeah.
496.
496. Let's see if we can get that over 500 by the time the stream ends. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is one of the organizations that we have been working with since we started Handmade Alpha Academy. That's because one of my close friends took his life when I was actually building Handmade Alpha Academy. So we ended up immediately incorporating that particular charity in, because anytime something like bad happens in my life or something sad, I always try to find like the way to help is the way to like soothe my own soul. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's nothing that you can do after losing someone in that way, but making sure that others don't go through something similar, I feel is a really great way to put in that time and put in, put some of that energy towards something good. So please consider donating if you guys can. We'll be running this particular charity probably for a couple months up until, well, I don't know. Sometimes if, something catastrophic, like we did the charity for the California wildfires, but we tend to do this charity at in the spring. So you guys will have plenty of opportunities to donate, but yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that sucks. Donate if you can. I was in a career field with like the highest suicide rate in the military, and I knew a lot of people who took their lives. It's an important organization.
Ooh, we should do the what's the 22 the military one, because 22 is it 22 or 21 people on average take their life every day. That's one that I wouldn't mind doing as well, because I know that that's another really great organization. Maybe we'll do that one for like Memorial Day or something.
Sure.
Would be a good one.
All right, we're good.
I think we're good.
End it.
All right, so what is the consensus, Mr. Moore?
48% said 3, 39% said 1, and 12% said 2.
So most people are saying Jill, right?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and do the reveal. It is Marcy. Marcy is our winner. She does awesome herbs from Backyard Patch Herbs. She's got awesome product photos, over 5,000 sales. She's a star seller. I think that she's got a really, really great brand. And she has a VIP club where she sends all of her deals and discounts. So I don't know if Marcy's here today, but congratulations, Marcy, on having an awesome shop. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. Hey, you know what? I thought that one would be a dead ringer because I had to get such a tiny screenshot of her picture, but
nope, y'all was wrong.
You were wrong. Okay, but don't judge it by photo quality. I've got some curveballs in here for you.
Y'all was wrong.
This one is a little easier for those who are longtime viewers of the channel, but we have a Lunar Moth Apothecary jar. This is a product I don't own this particular one, but I own a product from this shop. And we have 3 different sellers for you. We have Shauna, Lori, or Jessica. Who do you think out of 1, 2, or 3 is the seller of this? This is not Harvest Tea Loose Fall Flavor. I didn't change the name.
Good job. It's me, Jessica.
Oh man, that movie. I don't think that
I need to watch that movie again.
I don't know if that movie aged well. I don't know if any of Rob Schneider's movies
I don't really care if
well.
they aged well. Y'all know my opinions on comedy. It's either all okay or none of it's okay. I don't care.
Mark and I went through this exploration a few weeks ago where we decided that we'd go back and watch all of our favorite old 90s movies, and some of them weren't
like, oh, this would get someone canceled today.
A lot of them weren't as funny as I remember them being when I was like,
oh, I thought they were
a kid. What all did we watch? We watched all the scary movies.
Yep. The more offensive, the better. I want the most offensive comedy you can give me.
We watched Little Nicky, which I've never liked. I've always thought it was the stupidest Adam Sandler movie. I hate that movie. We watched Big Daddy and Mr. Deeds, which I do like those. I love Big Daddy. That was my favorite. And Happy Gilmore. I love Happy Gilmore. Anyway, all right. This one should be an easy one. I'm going to be offended if you guys get this one wrong.
Well, boy, oh boy, let me tell you.
Okay.
All right, are we going to go ahead and do it here?
It's bouncing. Let's go ahead and give it a minute.
No, it's not bouncing. It's not going to change enough. Okay.
Let's go ahead. Mr. Moore, who do they think is the seller of this Lunar Moth Apothecary jar?
9% said Shauna, 39% said Lori, 51% said Jessica.
It's because Jessica is so dark and moody, but
y'all were wrong.
It's Lori's Laboratory, who I talk about all the time. One of my favorite HAA students ever. She has 7,921 sales. Her jars are awesome. She prices so high in her industry. Her products are completely unique. She's to the point now where like Temu people are stealing and trying to make cheap knockoffs of her product. So if you're into the witchy, apothecary jars, jewelry, she's got some really cool like daggers and things in her shop. Definitely check it out. She's one of my favorites. All right. So far I've won. I'm the winner, right?
You are the winner. That is how that works. Correct. You'll get your prize later, Miss Valentine's Day.
Ooh, my prize. I hope it's
big.
Sweet Mr. Moore. I'm
talking about the present in the box. It's right there.
That's a little box.
Yeah, that's pretty average to me. All right, let's continue.
We've got White Heart Fairy Lights. Very beautiful product photo for these White Heart Fairy Lights. And we have 3 different sellers for you to choose from, and I made this one extra hard. We have 3 different wedding photos. So, do these
Y'all are liars. Y'all haven't even seen it yet.
So what are they? They're already
Somebody
voting.
said 3.
It's 3. All right. So is it Coral, Maggie, or Tiffany? Let's see. Everybody's like 3, my lord. What's that? Shrek. The
Big 3, me lord.
the executioner with the
That's what we should watch for Valentine's Day. Shrek.
Shrek.
It is a romance movie.
It is. It is.
It is.
I love it. I think that
I think Shrek is a timeless classic.
I do too, and it shows you that beauty's on the inside.
It's
and
mostly politically correct.
I think so.
I don't know. There might be a few things in there that some people wouldn't like, but
I think it's. I actually watched Shrek with my mom on the plane to Latvia. Actually, I think we watched it on the plane ride home. I don't know why.
When you were sleepy and delirious.
Yeah, I don't know why we picked Shrek. I watched Fantastic Beasts on the way there, but I think we watched Shrek on the way back. My mom watched Braveheart because apparently she turns that movie on to sleep. She said that the music the music puts her to bed. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So Coral, Maggie, and Tiffany. Let's see. Well, the tables have turned. How the turns have tabled. At first, everybody was very confident that it was 3, but now
They're not so sure.
they're bouncing back to 1. And I think that it's because they're going for the lower quality images. They're bouncing between Coral and Tiffany because these images are low resolution. But let me tell you guys, the low resolution photos, that's not always an indicator. So just, just keep it in mind and look at how clear the photo of the products are. So it's really a guess of which of these individuals do you think is crafty enough to create these white heart fairy lights that would be used for maybe a wedding centerpiece.
All right.
All right. So.
All right. 46% said Coral, 27% said Maggie, and 26% said Tiffany.
So they're very confident that it's Coral. You guys finally got one. Coral has 12,580 sales. She makes these super duper cute fairy lights with different leaves and basically like little garland that you could use for weddings and centerpieces or just for seasonal decor. And she always has the best product photos.
Nicole said she's never seen Shrek, so you're not allowed to chat anymore until you go watch Shrek, you absolute heathen. I'm pretty sure that's treason.
Nicole, you and Mabel need to plan a date night tonight. And you need to get her a little puppy popcorn and watch Shrek. It's a beautiful movie.
Oh my God.
Are we ready?
I'm disappointed in you.
All right.
All right, let's go.
I'll go ahead and show them the next photo.
That kills people, Coral.
All right. This is another. So we've talked about this seller a couple times, but I like throwing this one in because I feel like it's a fun curveball. A tea leaf psychic reading. So we've had tea, but now you guys have to guess who's offering a tea leaf psychic reading. And I really love how she does these photos. I think that it's really pretty. It almost looks like little pieces of clip art all together. It's a really cool way to do a digital product. But who is offering a tea leaf psychic reading? Is it Shelly, Missy, or Paige? I love leaf reading.
I'm putting it in there for people who, 9 times out of 10, there's like 2 or 3 people who open the stream and zip to the front and then they start commenting on stuff that happened 30 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So I'm titling them so they know which one is which.
Refuse to vote.
Trying to get your kids to watch Shrek. Dude, my kid won't watch SpongeBob.
And she used to love it. She used to call it Bobby.
Yeah. She's like, it's stupid. I'm like,
that's the point.
Everything she watches is the most ridiculous crap I've ever seen in my life, and she won't watch SpongeBob.
I know. It breaks my heart. We were cultured in the SpongeBob. There are, I think the first 3 seasons, there's not a single episode that I couldn't quote every single bit of.
Oh yeah, same.
I remember the day that SpongeBob aired.
Because when you grow up with ADHD, you have to have something on in the background, and SpongeBob just ran all day long on repeat.
Yep, I would color pictures and play with my toys, and SpongeBob was always on in the background because yes, I'm very young. I'm very young, guys. Very young.
She won't watch SpongeBob. I still watch SpongeBob from time to time.
I know.
Not sitting and watching it, but I turn it on in the background.
Yeah. She'll
She'll
come
come
back.
back to it. No, she won't. No, she won't. She has decided she hated it when she was like 6 and literally leaves the room. She will not stay in the same room if I turn SpongeBob on.
However, we're almost through every single episode of that 70s show because she's finally old enough to watch those. And that's been a joy watching her like go through those. She loves that 70s show. All right. Are we ready? Who?
Pretty substantial here. 53%, or it changed. 52% said Paige, 33% said Missy, and 13% said Shelly.
So the majority was Paige.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I threw you guys a curveball. I really hope that the one with Missy and her tarot card would have thrown you off. Maybe you just remember that we featured Paige before. But this is Paige's shop, and I love her branding. It's a tough niche. There is so much competition for different readings on Etsy, but she has done an amazing job. Her photos are beautiful, and I love the overall aesthetic of her shop. So, Paige, if you're here, I think that I haven't seen this version of your banner, and I absolutely love it. You guys might remember Paige from the shop Cat Psychic. We featured it because I think that it's hilarious that she has a cat psychic shop where she has her cat give psychic readings. It's super cute. But anyway, all right. You want to go ahead and prep the next poll while I show the next one? Are you guys done having babies? Mark has had the snip for like how many years now? Almost 10, right?
It's longer than that. I got it 6 months after Taylor was born.
Yeah,
So 12, 13 years.
I almost died having Taylor, and I hated every minute of being pregnant. So I don't want any more babies. There is no possibility of babies.
I hate kids.
I mean,
I like other people's kids. I don't want a kid.
Right. It's not that you hate kids. You're actually really good with kids, and you love your niece. Like
I do. I don't like little boys. I really don't. I can't stand them.
He's amazing with children.
Oh, I am.
But I feel like watching other people's kids, and this is weird coming from me because I used to be a preschool teacher, watching other people's kids is like seeing someone with a pet lion. Super cool. Like, first of all, I would love to see your lion and maybe talk to your lion and hang out with your lion, but I don't want to take it home with me.
I would rather have a lion than another kid.
Of course you would.
I would. That's fine. I don't care.
All right. I do love kids. I don't want to take them home. I'll hang out with them for a while.
Give them to the lion.
No, don't give them to the lion. Our kid would bring the lion home.
There's enough kids.
Our kid would tame the lion.
She would. All right.
Badass Beauty Morse code necklace. This is really cool. First of all, this particular seller does and this was the most like not naughty one that I could find. Most of them had the F word, and I think that YouTube, takes away our monetization if we show that word.
They sure do.
But still really cool Morse code themed. You know, you could wear this subtly and no one would know. So, is this particular product by Tom, Jan, or Karen? Let us see.
He said it's a hard world for kids. Remember, adults make it that way. It's actually an incredibly easy world to live in.
That's true. That's true. My daughter and I, we watched The Fox and the Hound. And I remember in health class, I watched The Fox and the Hound when we were learning about equality, we watched it for Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, thinking like, what a great time to watch that movie. So I sat with Taylor and watched it because she's been wanting to watch it anyway. And I actually explained to her, which, it's something that you assume that kids know, but it's like she didn't realize it. I was trying to explain to her what the inner message is, behind the movie. And I said, the underlying message is that if you were to take, two children of different races, little itty bitty kids, and put them in a room together, they would play. Like they would play. They wouldn't notice that there's color. and they, they would not have any biases. They would just have fun, like in The Fox and the Hound. But who taught Copper that, that he had to be a hunter, he had to hunt the fox, that the fox was the enemy? It was, the adults around him. And Taylor, when I explained this to her, Taylor was like, wait a minute. She's like, so racism, it's literally adults.
It's a taught skill.
Right.
Yeah.
Adults made it up.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, Taylor, I said, that's kind of the whole point of the movie. And it's one of those talks that like you think that everyone just naturally knows, but at some point you do have to explain it, especially from from her perspective, where she doesn't experience it because, some of her best friends are Black, and she has a Muslim friend that she's very, very close with.
I lived in a small town in Ohio. I grew up with it.
Right. So it's very interesting. But this is just one of those things that maybe it's a good idea this month to bust out movies like that, or if you want something more modern, Zootopia kind of touches on the same topics. But that's what we chose to watch for Black History Month, so we could start talking about that lesson. I mean, she's 13 and it just never occurred to her. So anyway, fun talks.
Love everybody. Don't be racist.
Exactly.
You are a bad person if you're racist, just so you're aware.
Yes.
Right, let's go.
That's the message of this episode, right?
Yep.
Let's see.
If phobic is part of your personality, change it. 50% said Jan, 32% said Karen, and 17% said Tom.
Oh, why not Tom? Tom looks like such a fun guy. I think that it's because Jan, she looks so silly and so goofy and so enthusiastic, and you're all wrong. It's Karen. Karen with her cool cowboy hat. Look at her. You got it wrong. I love her logo. Look how witty her logo is. She incorporates the Morse code right into her logo. She has one of my favorite branded shops, almost 18,000 sales.
She's awesome.
This is such a fun idea. And this is, this is another one of those sellers. I don't hear from Karen very much. Karen is one of those sellers who is just so successful that she just kind of carries on her merry way and does her thing. But, if you're here, Karen, I just wanted to show you.
What a weird assertion. Tom looks like the guy that bought a salon but doesn't know anything about salons. What a very specific...
Okay, you know what? Okay, I see it. He looks like a guy who owns like a high-end shampoo company. Yeah, I see it. It's
like the guys I get ads for about the seborrheic dermatitis shampoo, where they just look like normal dudes.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, I started a business making soap.
Okay, sure. Anyway, Karen,
Let's go.
Awesome shop. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one. We have a fabric corner bookmark.
What is that noise?
The puppy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. A fabric corner bookmark. First of all, beautiful photo, fantastic even lighting, and a really cute product. So we have 3 different options. We've got Beth, we have Andrea, and we have Tanya. We've got lots of crafty looking people here. Who do you think created this fabric corner bookmark?
It's Two Spoots behind the wall meowing.
She's
back there going...
Tootsie! Toos boos! Toos boos! Boos boos! Boosy boos!
She likes to hang out back there. That's okay.
In case you guys didn't know, this middle thing, it's just Velcroed on there. We move it. There's a whole room back there.
Full of my music stuff.
Yeah. If you watch early episodes of the Friday Bean, there wasn't a wall there. There was a curtain for a while, but before that, it was just a big, open, glaring, awful space. It's also painted black in there. It's completely black. I painted it black because we had a couch back there and a TV, and it was like a little movie studio.
But we were like 4 inches from the TV, so it was way too close.
Yeah. Now TV's over there.
Over that way.
Over that way.
Over that way. You
You
don't
guys-
want to go down that wrong.
You guys can kind of see the room from the other side of the room if you watch E-Rank Q&A, because I stream from my webcam over at my desk, which is way over there. Way over there. Like,
Whale.
this is a big, long basement. All right. So
Big and long.
who do they think makes these awesome fabric corner bookmarks?
Well, I don't think it's going to change enough that the odds are going to switch, so we'll go ahead and end it.
Okay.
44% said Andrea, 29% said Beth, and 26% said Tanya.
Oh, interesting. Well, is it because I threw in the sewing machines? Is that... I tried to pull a tricky on you, but you were correct. It was Andrea. Lovely Andrea and her beautiful banner and branding colors. I love her branding. She makes all kinds of little sewn, just little trinkets, little cool things. I love her pocket hugs. They're just little gifts that you can give to people to carry in their pockets to, remind them that you care. She makes the little bookmarks, tea bag wallets, and mug rugs. So
Mug rug.
mug rug sounds like a Harry Potter insult.
A mug rug.
Yeah, you dirty mug rug.
That's like a neck beard.
A mug rug.
Like when a 19-year-old tries to grow in a beard and it's just the most gross, patchy looking thing ever. I'm sorry,
Like
19-year-olds. You should shave your hair. My hair does not grow in patchy.
Yeah, when you were young.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, you had a pretty bad beard there for
Don't
a while.
grow them out.
Yeah, I like your beard. Let us know who likes Mark's beard.
Mug rug.
All right. I think this is our last one. To me, this one is the most challenging because it's just such a normal product. Super cute. I specifically chose this one for Valentine's Day. This is a cherry bow Valentine's throw pillow. If you guys haven't noticed, cherries are trending hard right now. Cherry everything. I'm seeing cherry flavored things, cherry scented things, and cherry patterns on everything, as well as that deep, almost burgundy crimson cherry color. So if you haven't made any trendy cherry colored or themed or scented or flavored products, definitely consider doing so. But we have 3 different options. We have Bella, we have Kimberly, and we have Bethany. So let's see, who do you think made this cherry bow Valentine's throw pillow?
Beards are nice. I like having one.
It's beard-tastic.
Eating soup sucks.
We have...
It does. It's awful.
I don't know what it is specifically, but we have a lot of Korean and Taiwanese older women because we're by a military base. And, our
a lot of people married during the Korean War. That's not a mystery.
The retirees, they married and then they brought their wives back and then they settled down. And then they retired here. So we have a lot of Korean and Taiwanese women. The older Korean and Taiwanese women love him. Like,
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but they love me.
They love him. Everywhere we go, that there are, like our waitress at the ramen place, the owner of the Taiwanese bakery.
Yeah, she just flat out told me I was handsome.
Yeah, she said that his mustache was very handsome.
So what do you say? Handsome.
It was so cute. And you know what? Yeah, it's just older ladies in general because
they talk to me at the gym.
Yeah,
they will approach me at the gym.
Yeah, they watch you too. I watch them watching you. I think it's cute. I think it's cute.
It's adorable.
I like that the little old ladies.
I have nothing against them. They're sweet. They flirt.
Yeah. Well,
cool.
Even at the hospital though, we had the 3 secretaries. Like they were like. Much older, much older.
Yep.
And they were flirting with you. It's the mustache, I swear. And I told him, I said, you're so much more approachable with the curly mustache. You look friendly. It's like a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Your whole face smiles. All right.
I have to have something that smiles because I just have resting asshole face.
Look at these stats. 38%, 38. Oh, you guys, we need a tiebreaker.
Right, somebody vote for something else. Somebody break this tie.
Bella and Kimberly, one of you guys hasn't voted.
Somebody's on the edge. Switch your opinion.
Bella and Kimberly, come on, they're both 38%. Somebody's got to do it. Mark,
as soon as it's what there it goes. Okay.
Okay.
I ended it as soon as it changed.
All right. Who do they think?
38%. Well, I'm gonna say it switched. 39% for Bella, 37% for Kimberly, and 22% for Bethany.
So it bounced back to 38 and 38?
At the very last second, yes. But when I hit end, Bella was at 39%.
Oh, interesting. Well, are we ready? This is the last one. So here is the big reveal. My friends, were you right or were you right or were you wrong? It's Kimberly! And Kimberly has awesome branding. Kimberly, I don't think I have ever seen your shop before. I don't remember this shop at all, unless maybe Kimberly just rebranded, but I feel like I would remember this awesome branding. Now, what I really loved about Kimberly's branding, because this is the first time I've seen it, is that you can tell what her branding colors are. It's the green, orange, and the lavender. But what really stands out to me here is that she was able to incorporate in Valentine's Day elements without it taking away from her branding colors or being too distracting. She added the little hearts and the little hugs and kisses right above her flamingos. I think that this is adorable.
I think it's perfect. I love it.
This is such cute branding. So, Kimberly, if you're here, well done. Beautiful branding. I wish we could have had some men. That's my one complaint here is that we didn't have any men submit their shops. So later, we need more guys. We've got tons of guys in HAA, but apparently none of them saw my post. Granted, it was very last minute. I think I posted it yesterday. So, and we had like what 20 something people submit, and I literally was still prepping this stream like what right before I came down here. So. Sorry that we couldn't do more, but we appreciate you all so much for hanging out. Hey, thanks to everybody who donated as well. What are we at for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention?
$555.
$555. We can get it to $6.
I think we got like 70 or 80 bucks so far this stream. That's not too bad.
Yeah, guys, we can get it to $6. We can get it to $6. You could, come on, you guys can do it.
But you guys are good to go ahead and get questions in. They do not have to be related to what we did today.
Oh, pretty colors. Yeah, Mark made it pink for us.
I made it pink.
He made it pink. Nobody sees the extent that he goes for us behind the scenes.
I'm adorable. Get out of here. Look at my friggin' screensaver.
This is what
It's not my screensaver. This is my desktop background.
This is what his because that's me and you.
Is it?
Yeah. Which one's you and which one's me?
I don't know. You're probably the less ugly one.
No, he's not ugly. They're both cute.
I'm adorable.
You are adorable.
Okay.
And all these stuffed animals that are yours. You are adorable. Anyway.
Questions in or we'll have to end the stream after 30 minutes, and I hate doing that.
Or like design said, just not 666. I remember the day that I got 666 YouTube subscribers, which feels like a gazillion years ago. But I actually posted on all my social medias, and I'm like, hurry, someone else go subscribe.
Someone said, which do you use for this? It is, what is it
You have
called?
to go to Steam to
Yeah,
get
they
it.
said that they didn't like it. It's called Wallpaper Engine.
And
I don't know why you wouldn't like it. If that's the one that you use, Wallpaper Engine's been great. I've been using it for like 3 years.
Yeah,
I've had no problems. If you game and stuff, you should, if you set the settings to pause when it's not in focus, so like when you bring up a browser, it's not playing in the background, it won't take up nearly as many resources, and you can always quit at any time.
Yeah. He made me a custom Court of Thorns and Roses one. He built one for me. I think you can actually search for it.
Yeah, if you searched Akatar, but it's widescreen. It's not.
Oh,
it's not
you're
full standard.
right.
There might be a regular one, but I think I made that one private.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It looks like we have some questions coming in, Mr. Moore.
We have one. Yes.
No, there's two.
Or two.
Yeah.
In my listings, can I change the number of items in inventory from high to low, like from 24,000 to 5? I'm thinking in terms of giving an appearance of short supply.
I would.
Absolutely.
I would. And in fact, when we showed Lori's laboratory, her shop, because her apothecary jars are relatively high priced, that scarcity element I feel is very, very important for those types of products. Now, if you're selling things like party favors where people are more likely to need a bunch of them, or greeting cards, please don't list one at a time. You're really shooting yourself in the foot by doing that, because people need those in quantity. But with Lori, she listed one of those apothecary jars that I wanted. It had a wolf's face on it. And I saw that there was only one, and I ran and bought it real quick because I'm like, oh, I don't want it to sell out. And I messaged her afterwards, and I said, hey, Lori, I bought, that apothecary jar. I saw it was the last one. And then she said, was it? Winky face. And she bamboozled me with my own scarcity tactic. And that was just, it was one of those moments where I realized the power of that scarcity, like, fear of missing out. So listing, yes, totally recommend it. Because Etsy will even say that there are less, that there's only 5 available and in 10 people's carts. I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing that. I don't find that's like one of those tactics that I don't find to be deceptive. because I feel like seeing, 999 of something listed, to me, that just feels unrealistic. And if you use eRank's inventory stats, it'll also mess up your stats. Like our inventory stats for our shop, it shows that we've got like $40,000 worth of products and stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and we don't because it's POD. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
Can you give examples of games or competitions or whatever to do on our Facebook groups to engage followers?
Ooh, I would recommend Googling a list of them because there's a lot of good ones. I would look for Facebook group games, Facebook group engagement games, and that's what I always did. There's a lot of really cute ones. You can do them with emojis. You can, say, try to have people guess things. You like put emojis in that relate to like a song lyric and they have to try to guess what the song lyric is. There's just so many different ideas. I can't think of any on the fly, but there are tons of blog posts that outline them because I've used them. So I would just run to Google.
Mm-hmm. I want that animated background, but I don't think my laptop can handle it. It probably can. And you can also set the different rendering settings, render it lower than it's supposed to. You can set it to your resolution. There's a whole bunch of different settings. I know Pink Rhino said that it didn't do well on 2 monitors. This one does just fine on 2 monitors. You can even set different screens for 2 different monitors, and some of them have sounds. A lot of them are sound reactive, so they'll like pulse with music or have different effects and stuff that come on.
He's so cute.
Yeah, it's cool. It's worth it.
I love the frogs.
Aren't 6s good luck in a certain culture?
I think they are. I think that
they are in Chinese.
6s, 7s.
Fun fact: the whole 666 thing isn't a direct reference to 666. It's how people used to use numerology to apply names, and 666 would translate to something. I think it was Nero or Caesar, depending on who you were talking about. And earlier translations of it were actually 616, not 666. It depends on who you ask. We actually have no idea because the translations of the Bible are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
So
all Mark watches are history videos. That's like all he does is
and that's just my opinion. There's other people who have different opinions, so it doesn't matter. Everybody has their own opinions on it, but they're numbers. So
yeah, I'm not superstitious when it comes to things like numbers and
what is trending for apparel and stationery niches? Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's a hard ask, but I do have some trending or some videos that discuss trends on my channel, as well as videos that teach you how to discover those trends. In fact, I've been covering those pretty recently. I would recommend going back and watching some of the 2025 trend videos that I've already done. I would recommend heading over to erank.com, which there's a link down below, I believe, for a free trial. If not, sign up for the free Etsy SEO toolbox that's linked down below, and you'll get the eRank free trial. Our Trend Buzz tool will show you, Trend Buzz Monthly will show you the top 100 most searched trends for all of Etsy's various categories, including adult, if you want to look at what's been trending for Valentine's Day.
Nothing fun anymore, thanks, Etsy.
Oh, yeah, because they banned all the super naughty products.
We were going to show shops we have favorited, but all my shops are adult shops.
Oh well. But anyway, yeah, so there you can use the Trend Buzz. You can also, if you're wanting to look specifically for your niche and industry, you can definitely keep your eyes open, like while you're shopping or scrolling online. Like, for example, cherries was one of the themes that I started to see everywhere. And then it popped up on Pinterest Predicts for 2025. And then I started noticing it, trending over on Etsy. And then I started doing some keyword research on it. And when I did the keyword research, I noticed that certain keywords in that cherry category were trending. So really, trend analysis comes from being aware of things that are happening around you, whether it be when you're scrolling on social media, whether it be when you're walking around in a grocery store. You start to notice the same things over and over again. Like, really challenge yourself to be alert. One thing that Mark and I do every single time that we go to Starbucks is we look at what color cups they're selling. They change them out every few months, but usually whatever colored cups they're selling is what's trending at the time.
Or something they're trying to make trend.
Exactly. They are really good with trends. Target.com is fantastic for trends. We covered that in our Friday Bean with the 2025 trends if you want to go check that out. But yeah.
I love these things. I'm having trouble breathing.
Oh.
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm leaving the country for a couple of weeks, so I put my shop on vacation mode. If you can't fill out orders, you don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah. So vacation mode, a lot of people say that it, it's going to wreck your shop. It doesn't wreck your shop. So basically what happens when you put your shop on vacation mode, or if an item sells out in your shop and sits in your sold out folder in the back end, or if you deactivate a listing and customers can no longer buy it, in all three of those scenarios, what is happening is those listings are being taken from a marketplace where they are relying on customer interactions, people clicking on them, finding them organically in search, favoriting them from an organic search, purchasing them, leaving good reviews for them. All of those factors help to maintain your search ranking or your placement in search. So when you put your shop on vacation mode, or a listing sells out, or you deactivate it, the longer it sits unavailable to customers, where customers can't interact anymore, the longer it sits there without that engagement, the more likely it is to fall in search when you reactivate it, because it's like watering a plant, right? You have to water it frequently. And if you just stop watering it, you leave for vacation and you leave that plant alone, obviously there's no one watering it. It's going to start to wilt. Now, when you get back from vacation mode, I do have a couple suggestions to help bounce that plant back to life. What you want is to get people clicking on those listings again. So maybe before you leave, plan a little sale. Plan to have a sale that you'll execute right when you get back. Or plan to launch new products so that you have new items hitting the algorithm right when you return. Or plan a big social media marketing campaign where you have all these awesome new photos that you're going to start publishing and pushing so that, excuse me, you're directing traffic to your shop right when you get back. Because ultimately you don't lose your listing quality scores. That's not what happens when those listings, are not available to customers. They just kind of go dormant for a while. And when you return, you basically need to tell Etsy, hey, I'm back. I'm ready to sell. Let's wake these listings back up. So, and the best way to do that is to have people open the door on those listings, walk into those listings and start interacting with them. So should you put it on vacation mode? I'm a big fan of taking breaks, honestly. Is it something that you feel like you're going to stress about and think about? And, could it potentially lead to bad reviews? Is it something that is going to take away from you having that much needed time to, enjoy? Then I would say go ahead and put it on vacation mode, because right now is a slow season. Valentine's Day is already passed. The next big holidays that we're going to see Etsy shoppers for are Easter and Mother's Day. Yeah, and if you're not catering to those holidays, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of sales over, March. March is usually a pretty slow season. I think that you'll be fine to put it on vacation mode if you need to.
Is the percentage Etsy takes away from a sale the same if the shipping cost is in the item price compared for charging for shipping separately?
I believe so, yes, because regardless, they're going to take a percentage of shipping. And I do believe that it ends up being about the same. Somebody just asked me this, and I haven't had a chance to compare it, but I know that somebody did comment and say that it was the same. So I do believe so, yes.
When, when would you recommend running external ads on social platforms or Google?
I would only recommend running those ads if you already have a solid proof of concept. So for me, on social media, and Mark and I are actually about to start experimenting with ads, because we told you that we put all of the YouTube money back into the YouTube channel, but we don't need anything right now. So we're going to take that ad revenue from YouTube and start putting it into ads to push my free resources. So what happens, when I post a free resource, for example, where I want them to go and claim a freebie, like my free Etsy or Etsy Oodles toolbox, I will post that in my normal workflow because, obviously I post content every single day on Instagram and Meta and yada, yada. I will post that piece of content and I will let it go for a couple days. And if I notice that piece of content is getting a lot of good interaction on its own without running ads, or boosting it, you know, it's just going well by itself, that's a good indication to me that that is a good piece of content that maybe I should put some money into. That's how I personally recommend Etsy ads as well. You know, you want to make sure that you're betting on your winning racehorses. Don't just advertise everything. Don't advertise, you know, new products unless you're okay gambling. If you want to make sure you're making a return on your investment, put your money into the products that are already selling well because you already have a proof of concept. Same goes for social media. If you've pushed a piece of social content and people really like it, you're getting lots of engagement, comments. If people are clicking, you know, the little save icon or the send icon, those are good indicators because, you know, Instagram's algorithm loves when people share that content or save it. That's a good indication that that's content that might do well if you monetize it a little bit.
Does Etsy provide tax documents? Are they in the mail or are they in the site somewhere? So yes, if you make enough. I don't know what the quantity is, and I know they've changed it in recent years. If you have not made enough, you'll have to take, when you go in and you can see like what you made per month, take a screenshot of that whole thing and print it, give that to your tax person. You still have to report it. If you don't make enough, they do not provide you a tax document.
Yes. How much is it? Does anybody remember how much it is?
500 now, but it used to be 2,500, 5,000. I can't remember what it is. PayPal I know is now 2,500 or 500. I don't know.
I run my Etsy shop weird now because Michelle,
it's not our money.
Yeah, Michelle gets the money from the Etsy shop, but that money helps to also pay her for being my VA, and then I pay her on top of that. And
it's convoluted. Don't worry about it.
Things are set up weird right now for us.
Somebody said 600.
600. I thought it was 500 or 600.
And I don't think they mail them anymore. I could be wrong. The last couple of years, we didn't receive it in the mail. We had to go into our back end, and there was a section that was literally just called tax documents. You go in there, select the year, print it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, but all else fails, just make sure that you've got screenshots of everything. And even if you're making below $600, you still have to claim it. That was one of the big mistakes I made. One of my was it first or second?
Now there's people saying it's 5,000 this year and it's going down to 2,500 next year.
Got it. Okay. Well, you know, it could be different based on location.
That's
too,
true.
Possibly.
That's true.
Country,
legality.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, my first or second year of running my Etsy shop, I believe it was my first. I was young. I was like 19, 20 years old. I didn't know that I had to pay taxes on my little craft business. And Mark and I ended up owing $8,000 to the IRS, which at the time, you know, two very young adults that were barely making it. That was an astronomical amount of money.
No, it was because the amount that we saved was wrong because the internet lied to us.
The internet lied to us.
Yeah, we did file for our taxes, but we did not save anywhere near enough.
Yeah,
and we thought we were going to get all these discounts that were very ill. You guys know how it is. You do tax research and it tells you a bunch of stuff and it's just wrong.
Get an accountant, please.
Yes, please don't do your taxes yourself.
unless you're qualified to do it.
Yeah, and even then, it's better to just go through an organization that can insure.
Yes, insurance.
Because Block Advisors insures, so if we get audited and it's not our fault, they have to take care of it and pay the difference. So, I have photography, mixed media, woodworking, and metalwork. One Etsy shop for all or separate shops?
You've given me three different industries, four different industries, and you have not told me what your niche is. Industries are not niches. So I would recommend going back and watching last week's episode of the Friday Bean, because that's literally the whole stream was about the difference between niches and industries. There's not enough context for me to say if there's a cohesive glue that puts those products together in a way that makes sense for your ideal target customers. Nor have you told me who your target customers are, but those are industries, not niches. You need to make sure that you're figuring out what your niche is, and sticking to one cohesive niche.
A lot of people talking about the taxes, ending up owing money. Wait till you learn that once you make multiple six figures, that's the portion of people that are paying the majority of taxes in this country. And I don't normally get super duper political, but there's a whole lot of talk about how certain people need to pay less taxes and people that make like 500K need to pay more taxes. People that make like $300,000 to $800,000 pay probably 90% of the taxes in this country. We pay like 35%.
It is.
We pay a fee, and you guys will probably learn this too in the United States. If you're not an LLC, if you are a sole proprietor, you will pay additional taxes. It's called a self-employment tax. And ours last year was 14% on top of everything else that we already paid. The money that you pay exponentially increases with the more money you make.
Yeah, we have a fantastic accountant.
Yes.
I miss our other accountant, the sassy one that we always talked about. She retired. Now we have this sweet little British accountant. She's amazing.
Yep.
The only thing that concerns me is that she doesn't know how to use a spreadsheet, which is a little scary.
You know what? We pay for the insurance.
But she did a good job. She did a good job.
She's awesome. She saved us a lot of money.
She did.
I'm pregnant and my shop is finally doing great, but I'm worried that when I have my babe, I'll fall behind on shipping. A legitimate worry there.
Yeah.
Any tips to keep going? I'll have my family help. That's about the limit of it. Yeah. Have as many people as you can help. If you have a close friend that already helps you with your stuff from time to time, not a bad idea.
Here's the thing. You can only do what you can do, and your baby is only going to be tiny once. And I mean, business is important. Spending time with a new baby is time you'll never get back, though. My advice is to keep your finger on the trigger when it comes to, that vacation mode button. Do not be afraid to push it. If you need to take a break, and you don't need to give an explanation, you take as long as you need to. And if you've got family, you need to make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into and the risk that comes from them not following through. Let them know that your shop can be like permanently shut down if you're not shipping those orders on time. And you absolutely, I know that when there's a new baby in the house, family's like, I want to help with the baby. I want to help with the baby. But if it's not the baby that you need help with, if it's the business, be honest with them and say, look, I've got the baby, but if you really want to help me, I could really use help getting these orders up to the post office. Those are the things that I would start establishing with them early, building out schedules and expectations, letting them know that there is no wiggle room. There is no room to say, oh, I can't do it today. Like if they are committing to it, then they need to commit to it. Or you need to, like I said, just go ahead and go on vacation mode until you can make sure that, you feel like you've got a good handle on balance. Because when babies are that little, there's really no telling, there emergency doctor's visits. If the baby is sick.
That's assuming there's something wrong with the baby. There's also you.
That's true.
You might not be able to walk. You might have a C-section. You might have a complication. There's all kinds of stuff that can go wrong.
Exactly. I would definitely plan to have at least starting, a maternity leave because you never know.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Exactly. Just and even if nothing goes wrong, you still should give yourself that time so that it's one less thing to stress, because stress for you is not good for your baby. It's not good for if you're breastfeeding. It's not good for your breast milk production. There are so many things that, that stress can negatively do to both you and the baby's health. So, I just plan for everything. Like Mark said, obviously hope for the best. It's very likely that everything will go fine, but keep worst case scenarios in mind. Like if you have to have an extended stay at the hospital, or if, for any reason you're not able to drive, things like that, just keep all those scenarios in mind and have an action plan for them early. Make sure that you share that action plan with your family, and don't be afraid to go on vacation mode. This is the best time to take a break because traffic on Etsy is going to be slow for probably the next few months. Spring and summer on Etsy, we call it the summer slump because it's so slow. And I've been selling on Etsy since 2012. There's always a summer slump.
North Girl said maternity leave in the USA is horrible. It's deplorable is what it is.
Oh,
we have like the worst care for just given birth women in the world. It's bad. In my listings, I show that my production partner is Printify. Should I instead be showing the actual production company in North Carolina?
You can just put Printify, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah, because if if you ship to somewhere else, it might not be that print center that ends up shipping it.
I would just put Printify because they're an approved Etsy integration. So Etsy, you know, there's familiarity there with Printify as the umbrella company where all of the little print companies kind of exist underneath it. That's what I do. There's probably no risk to switching it, but there's also no need. I keep it at Printify rather than the individual print companies just because I know that they already have an active partnership with Etsy. And I think that Etsy's one of their investors because when I went to the Printify office, they had these doors. If you've seen that picture of me in front of that Etsy door, it's because Printify, all of their investors have a door. So all of their offices are decorated and themed and branded in the companies that invested in them. And there was an Etsy door. So that kind of tells me that maybe Etsy invested in Printify, you know, at one point. And, you know, that's how they kind of like honor them is by making an office themed in Etsy. But with that in mind, there's familiarity between those two platforms.
Mm-hmm. People talking about pagan. Fun fact, most holidays have a pagan origin.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Aw. What are your Valentine's Day plans?
I literally can't say that on stream.
You shut up. I've got goodies for him and Taylor. We're gonna go get charcuterie stuff.
I am gonna go get charcuterie stuff. You're staying home.
Oh, so you might be buying more stuff then.
Nope, just don't want you with me.
Oh, okay. And Taylor wants to watch the second episode of Sweet Tooth. We watched the first episode and it was super cute and sad.
Adorable.
So we're gonna sit down with her and watch the second episode of that.
Does E-Rank give different results for plurals, like cherry versus cherries?
So E-Rank, I believe that we have finally got it to the point where those search results are going to be the same. Previously, they were separate because our data is based on what shoppers are typing into Etsy. So if a shopper types in cherry and cherries, the search volumes are going to be different. Because, you know, we're basing it on what the customers are actually typing in. But once it reaches Etsy, once they type it into the search bar, whether they do cherries or cherry, Etsy knows that those are the same. So it will basically combine the two and give results, whether they say cherry or cherries in the keywords. Now, I do believe that Anthony was able to build out something that, like, I know that we had to build probably like an algorithm that, you know, is able to consider the plural. So the results should be the same. If you ever come across a term where the results are different, my advice has always been to pick whichever one has the most searches with the knowledge that they will combine on the Etsy side, but there might be an added benefit from trying to get the exact match on the term that is most searched. But for the most part, Etsy's algorithm itself combines plurals.
Mm-hmm. Wes was here.
Aw. Where'd you go, Wes?
He's probably still here.
Wes. Geico and Dairy Queen are owned by the same holding company.
Fun fact, if you actually go up the corporate ladders of like most billion-dollar companies, there's like 5 dudes that own everything. That's not a conspiracy, that's a fact.
Yeah.
And BlackRock is the biggest one. I know you guys have heard a lot about them.
Yeah.
They're scum.
Yeah.
Can't say that out too loud though.
Yeah.
I've heard that if Etsy sees you have low stock, it can affect your Etsy quality score.
Nope.
And that that's not true.
Not true
Not
at
true
all.
at all. There
is no evidence to support that. If you've got an Etsy guru who's saying that, then avoid that guru. If it's not in Etsy's ultimate guide to search, if it's not something that Etsy has stated, if it's not something that you have, you know, read in an official Etsy article, and I'll even go as far as saying that even if you message Etsy, their customer support is very often wrong because they're just random people that Etsy's hired. They don't know everything. Etsy articles and the ultimate guide to search, and, you know, Etsy community posts by Etsy employees, not, you know, Etsy forums posts, but the Etsy community posts. Those are what I consider like word of law. When it comes to search ranking, anything stated directly by Andrew Stanton, their head of internal search, I consider to be of the highest authority because he is Etsy SEO. And Ratish, I can never remember his name, but he is their head of external search. So that would be like Google and external search engines. Those are the authorities.
Etsy doesn't allow you to sell shops, right? No, they do not. But is there a way to transfer it to someone if you do not have the time for it, but the
No.
shop is still profitable? No, because you're still handing them physical inventory. That's still selling something to someone. Even if
Yeah.
they're not giving you any money for it, you're giving them a monetary reward.
Yeah, the only exception I believe we got with Etsy support several years ago, we had this very curious question of what if I died? If I died and I wanted my spouse to take over my shop, is that possible? And Amber Marie actually messaged Etsy, and I took screenshots of the messages. But apparently, if that happens, the spouse can message Etsy support, and they have a designated department that can help you. And again, like I said, that's been several years ago. And I think that, that obviously would be an extreme case, but you cannot even give your shop to a spouse.
She's destroying stuff.
You can't sell a shop or transfer it. You have to start fresh, unfortunately. So, yeah. All right, let's see. If I have a few viral reels that are in my niche, raccoon memes, okay, that bring in the most of my followers, does it make sense to promote those even though they're not about my product? That's an interesting question. If you're certain, okay, so if it's raccoon memes, do you make raccoon products like, like the cute, like Trash Panda, trendy products? I'm going to say that if it's a significant amount of followers that you get as a result of those reels, you know what? There's no right or wrong answer. I think that if it were me, it would be worth testing. Don't bet the house on it. You know what I mean? Like, don't put a gazillion dollars into advertising those reels. But, it's a really interesting theory, and I would actually be... I would love to know how it goes. I think that it's a great idea. And I love that you're getting, some viral reels for your niche, by, leaning into that humor. You know what? Test it out. Worst case scenario is you blow a little bit of money. Like, if the worst case scenario is you spend a little money, but you're willing to gamble, almost the same as you walk up and buy a lottery ticket, that you're probably, there's only a small chance that you're going to make any money. But if you're okay with that and you're treating it like a game, you're fine if you don't win, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Do you already read this one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that cup black, dark blue, or purple?
Mine
Black.
Mine is black until you hold it up to the light, and then it's got a very
It's transparent black, so it looks purple.
Yeah, it's got a purpley blue color.
You're seeing the light back here bounce off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine was black, and then Mark's is rainbowy with a unicorn on top.
Excuse me.
Mine has a Shiba Inu on top. And we have a real Shiba Inu sleeping on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sugar okay?
Yeah, I put her in her pen.
Oh, okay. Poor baby.
She won't stop screaming.
Poor baby.
Oh, I would love to be enough to be taxed. Yeah, it's fun until it's not.
That's true.
Especially when people like to sneak in new regulations and things out of nowhere, and you show up and you're paying 10% more one year than you thought. Always save 10% more than you think you're going to need to pay.
Yeah, that's because, if you don't end up needing to pay it, then hey, you got a little extra money,
Yep. Because technically we're in the 24% tax bracket, but they end up paying somewhere around 35% when it's all said and done.
We save way more than we need just in case.
They said, can you remind me who you use for taxes? It is H&R. It's Block Advisors. It's H&R Block, but it's more personal.
Yes.
For business.
Block I hate H&R Block. They've messed up our taxes, but
yeah, more than once.
Block Advisors, it's like a completely different thing. Block Advisors, they are very knowledgeable. They can also help you with investing. And they can give you advice on, switching to an LLC and things like that. They can go over all that with you. They can be your all year like bookkeeper if you need them to. I've loved their services, and it's all insured. So if they mess up, you don't have to pay anything. And if you get audited, all you have to do is provide them with all your receipts and things, and they'll take care of the headache for you.
Big Rhino said we ended up owing $6K when they made 300. About 2 years ago, 300K was what we were making at the time. And at that time, we were paying 85 to 95,000 off of that.
Yeah.
Just for example.
Yeah.
And getting an LLC, I know Lori said LLC top of the list. For some of you, that's a good thing. But keeping in mind that you have to pay yourself depending on the type of LLC that you use, and it gets super duper complicated. So make sure that you have an accountant that can explain all of that to you.
Yes.
Spreadsheets are for spreadsheets, but I can't imagine having an accountant that doesn't know how to use them. I had to show her how to open an Excel document.
She's very old. She's very old and very cute and very British. She's so British that her car, her back window, she has a sticker of the Queen.
One of the big ones that looks like she's in the back seat.
Yeah, smiling out the window. She fully embraces the fact that she's British. It's
very funny.
She's so cute though.
She's got that thick Cockney accent.
Yeah, she's so cute.
Is it important to aim for 140 characters in the titles for listings? I use the new E-Rank feature to help generate titles with descriptions. What approach should I take?
No. You do not have to aim for 140 characters. That's a myth. There's somebody, I don't know who, there's an influence out there saying like, oh, you got to fill out all 140. So not true. The most important thing is that you write your titles in a way that is reader friendly so that it is not odd for your customers to read them. It sounds, at least like a phrase or a sentence. Or two sentences, just depending on how you structure it. Keep in mind that are you talking about the AI listing helper, the E-Rank AI listing helper? The AI listing helper is AI. Let's just put it that way. Everything that it suggests, you should also make sure that you're double checking. You need to make sure that you're doing your own keyword research on top of the terms that it suggests. It's not perfect. I know that because I was the one who told Anthony we should build it. Like we threw that tool together very, very fast. It's an open AI tool. So it's not going to give you any magical insights. It's just going to help you with structuring things if you're not that, good at doing it. But make sure that you also dedicate time to doing your own keyword research and testing things. There is no magic when it comes to Etsy SEO. It's thinking you've got some good keywords, trying to make them make sense for your title and tags, letting it run for 60 to 90 days, analyzing your results, your views, favorites, and sales, and deciding if those terms are working for your listings. And if they are, cool, let them go. If they're not after 60 to 90 days, hey, maybe you tweak things a little bit and then you let them sit for another 60 to 90 days and you observe your views, favorites, and sales and see if anything changes. So it's all just a big science experiment, really.
Is crochet jewelry a niche?
It is, actually. Crochet jewelry is actually very popular right now. I'm starting to see it everywhere. So that's absolutely a niche. Crochet is an industry. Crochet jewelry would be a niche. Because it's a very specific type of, same with jewelry. Jewelry is an industry. Crochet jewelry is a niche because it's a very specific type of jewelry. You know what I mean? Whereas gold jewelry is not a niche, but minimalist gold jewelry is, because gold jewelry could be anything. Minimalist gold jewelry is a very specific type of gold jewelry. Does that make sense? Crochet jewelry, you get a clear picture in your head of what that could look like. Mm-hmm. And you can even niche it down more. You could do gothic crochet jewelry, colorful crochet jewelry, animal-themed crochet jewelry, hippie crochet jewelry. You can niche it down as much as you want.
Sorry, I'm scrolling through. We had a couple conversations taking place at the same time.
Were you guys talking about renaming image files to help with your SEO? Pam and I talked about that yesterday. That's a waste of time for Etsy. Great practice for a website because basically if you're doing it with a website, your file names are maintaining. So there's almost like hidden keywords in the metadata when you do it that way on your own website. But on Etsy, Etsy renames your files. So if you hit the F12 key on your keyboard and pull up the metadata and hover over your image, you can actually see what Etsy has renamed it, always starting with the letter I, usually IX, and then a bunch of random letters and numbers. But there's no need to rename your image files with keywords. It's a waste of time for Etsy.
How much sale can a shop have out of time? Is it okay to have 24/7, 365? So it depends on where you live, but in the United States, that's a crime.
Yes, the FTC, if you look up the FTC rules for sales, you cannot perpetually have a shop on sale at
Otherwise, that's
all
just the
times.
standard price, and it's considered taking advantage of a consumer.
Deceptive practice. Deceptive
Same thing
practices.
is increasing your prices in order to accommodate a sale at the normal sale price. That's also a crime.
Yes, yes.
A lot of people got caught for that last Black Friday, actually. Quite a few corporate companies were doing that crap, and they got in trouble.
But if you want to have some products on sale for a little while, and then you switch to different products that are on sale, so there's always products on sale, but it's not the same products on sale all the time, that's fine. You just can't run a sale forever and ever in your shop. It is illegal, but I don't know. I can't tell you if anybody will come after you. But obviously, since it's a legal thing, not an Etsy thing, I would be especially careful.
So he said, I'm sad because I found out a fantasy booktuber I followed is not a great human. Did you hear about that?
No.
Who specifically? Don't say what they did, but you can name drop here as long as you're not saying what.
Yeah, I don't really watch a lot of booktubers.
It's unfortunate. But here's the thing. There's how many billions of people on the planet? Third of them are terrible people.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it is.
The thing is, I feel like here in like the Friday Bean, you guys see us every single Friday. I don't think that we could fake our personalities if we wanted to. I put up a wee bit of a front here.
You have to. It's the internet.
Because I'm very raunchy in real life. If you guys have ever watched us, like last year, we did a lot of Twitch streaming. I know that Tina was in a lot of those. Wes was in a lot of those. I'm very inappropriate in real life, but I can easily turn on my teacher mode because I used to be a preschool teacher, and you can't slip up when you're a preschool teacher. You can't. You have to be Mary Poppins all the time. So I'm really good at turning that on. Mark was in the military. Mark was in a very stressful career field. And I think that a lot of people think that we get a lot of comments about Mark being mean to me, but that's only because that's how we play. That is our banter back and forth. We have been married for, it'll be 15 years this year.
This isn't the first.
And we constantly bicker at each other, but we never fight. I can't remember the last time we fought. We do not fight. And that's one of the things that we talk to our daughter about a lot, is that she's very lucky to live in a household where voices do not get raised.
Yep.
We don't raise our voices ever. And we even have to tell that when she goes to grandparents' houses, where we're like, she's not used to this. We don't raise voices. Like we talk things through. And Mark and I, we never fight, and we have always had we've been saying this since I started this channel. We have always had this philosophy of never go to bed angry, ever, no matter what. If there is anything that causes us to be mad at each other, we have to settle it before we go to bed. It is like our one rule of the household is we never go to bed angry. And we never put our daughter to bed, like even when she was little, we never put her to bed crying. Like everything has to be talked calmly about and resolved so that you go to bed happy and you sleep peacefully.
I mean, it's Valentine's Day. We should talk about reasons to love each other. I think that's important. I think that if you have thoughts about any human being ever that's not hurting anyone for any reason, and your immediate brain thought is hate or anger or I despise that, you're the thing that has something wrong with them.
Right.
Not the other person. And I think it's becoming the American standard to fight and argue and hate each other for no reason. And don't be a part of that. It makes you a bigot. If you hate people for no reason, you're a bigot. Don't be like that. Celebrate love, celebrate togetherness, celebrate diversity, celebrate your differences. You don't have to like criminals. You don't have to like people who push themselves on other people, like we're talking about with this artist here. The world is a beautiful place, and there's a lot of room for love and not a lot of room left for hate. You're seeing it happen. Everyone hates everyone for no reason. Don't be like that.
And that's why, like, during the Friday Bean, I try to always focus on the good things. And I'm always happy when I'm here. There's days when I don't want to be here. And you guys will never know. I'm very good at putting on my teacher face. There were days when I was a preschool teacher, I was in a really abusive relationship. And there was a time when the guy I was with at the time, he had actually like beat me up the Saturday before I had to go back to school, because I went to a vocational school, so half of my day was spent teaching. And I had to go back to school like that Monday. And I even wore long sleeves under my scrubs so that you couldn't see that I had just got beat up. And I had to put on that happy face. And that's one of the reasons that I decided not to be a preschool teacher. Was it is very emotionally hard. You have to have a lot of grit to be able to go.
Patience.
And same with, any type of healthcare or working in a nursing home. I think that you have to be able to wear that mask. And for somebody with, I have an anxiety disorder, the mask is especially heavy. And some days are harder than others. Now, thankfully, I'm on medication now. I started anti-anxiety medication probably, 3 or 4 months ago?
Yeah, it's before Christmas.
Yeah. And it's done wonders for me. I feel so much lighter. I mean, it's taken a lot of that weight away, but yeah.
No, it's been over 6 months, because you had it before Lost Lands.
I did, September.
Because they tried to take it away from you at the gate, remember?
Oh, yeah. They tried to take it from me before we went to the festival.
Screw security that takes away your anti-anxiety meds.
I know, right? That gave me a panic attack, because they thought I was trying to smuggle in drugs, and I was freaking out. And then that made me have and that's the only panic attack I've had since I've been on anxiety meds. Anyway,
yes.
With that in mind, as we kind of finish up here, just make sure that you try to stay in the headspace of there are always ways to help, no matter what. And when it comes to politics, we don't talk about those here, but it's hard to not know, like, that Mark and I love people. Like, that's
yes. Anyone who perpetuates hate is an enemy of me.
Right.
And right now, both sides of the political spectrum spew nothing but hate for the other side. They're all terrible. They're terrible human beings. And if you think that they're not, probably self-evaluate, because they're terrible.
Right. We just want to care about each other, and we want to, create an environment where that's possible, and we want everyone to feel safe here.
We're Americans, right? And I know I'm not the most patriotic person. I know that's crazy coming from a veteran, but I'm a patriot to the American ideal. And diversity is what makes America what it is. You can still travel to state to state to state to state, and you can see what type of diversity made that state what it is. You move over to the East Coast or West Coast, you can see where, like, the Irish had their influence, where the Italians had their influence. You can see where all of these different cultures came together and made that is literally diversity. Most of you cannot trace your roots to who came here from what, because your people have bred with so many different types of people that we're all mutts now. Yep. I think it's ridiculous. And there's some science here and there, but I think the rule of thumb this Valentine's Day, things to ponder and things to consider, is that if it makes you angry, you should evaluate the why. This goes for anything. Always evaluate your whys, whether it's in your business or in your life, and break down those whys. Say, okay, why am I angry about this? Is it because somebody told me to be angry about this? Or is it because I'm legitimately angry about this? If you're legitimately angry about something, look up the science, look up the research, validate your preconceptions, validate your opinions. If you can't find information without really, really, really digging, and please avoid news sources, because that's literally what they're designed to do, is to make you hate. If you can't find legitimate sources to validate your hates, then your hates are invalid. And
don't exist in an echo chamber, because you can prove yourself right no matter what. You can always prove yourself right by finding a hateful article, but look for the science.
Question everything always. at all times, whether it's a parent telling you something, a teacher telling you something, a politician telling you something, question everything, because at the end of the day, the science doesn't lie. It may be wrong sometimes. That's literally part of the scientific process. You reevaluate, you come up with a new solution, you find a better answer. You get proven wrong, you take your evidence, you reevaluate, create a new hypothesis, create a new decision.
It's a scientific method.
You can run your whole life like that. And you don't have to be a critical thinker. We know that critical thinking is not a human skill. It is something that has to be taught. Most people cannot critically think. It's not that there's something wrong with you. It's that you've never been taught. Evaluate everything. Love everyone. There's like a 2% chance that an asteroid's going to kill all of us in like 8 years. Learn to love each other, because if you die with hate, you're going to regret it. Or not. I guess it depends on what your opinions of.
It's only like a 2% chance that it's
which
gonna
is
hit
like
us.
1,000% higher than any other time ever in history. There's a good chance we're all going to die.
No,
It's like 2%, but it's terrifying.
Don't scare yourself.
Well, it went from 1.8 to 2.3 in the last week. So
yeah. But hey, it's if it happens, it happens. You know, that's my when it comes to like the enormity of space and, you know, the existentialism, I always remember that no matter whether I stress or not, I can't do anything about space and the universe. So I am happy just being my little speck with my own individual problems on this little speck in the universe. And yeah, my job on this little speck is to try to help as many people while I'm here. It's why I dedicated, 2 weeks ago, I went and taught at my high school. I taught 5 classes at my high school. It's why we run our charities. It's why, why Mark and I, every single time we go anywhere, it's humorous. Anytime, it's like, oh, do you want to donate to this organization when we're at the grocery store? Do you want to round up for this charity? Do you want to?
it's always yes.
It's always yes. And whatever the maximum amount is, that's what we pick.
Well, not anymore, because they keep increasing it. PetSmart is 50 now.
Oh, it's not 10 anymore?
No, it's 50.
Oh. Well,
I do 20.
Oh.
I do 20. Donate where you can.
Yeah.
And yes, I know corporations already make those donations, and you're actually just paying the corporation back for donations they've already made. I don't know if that's what PetSmart does, but I know that's what Target does, Walmart, and most of the other like big name corporate organizations. They actually make big donations at the beginning of the year, right after they file their taxes, and you're just paying them back for donations they've already made. But anyway, regardless.
I wore a Question Authority shirt in middle school and got in trouble.
I got in trouble in high school because my very flamboyantly gay friend, love you, Will, he did a thing because we live in a farming town, so very clearly, obviously, not a lot of people liked him. So we went and had a bunch of shirts that said "Support Love" printed out, but all of the letters were people doing it, and we all wore them to school in a protest because. I'm not going to get into the reason why, because it's kind of a screwed up situation. 2 kids tried to take their lives. A gay kid succeeded and a football player didn't. And literally no one mourned the gay kid. It was bad. Anyway, we wore those in a huge protest, and like 50 of us got 1-day suspensions for it. And then they redacted those because it was starting to become a thing. Support love.
That's an amazing reason to get suspended. Better than the other reason that you got suspended.
I agree with you also, Tina. Don't support most pet stores. We don't buy pets at pet stores, but we have no alternatives for food.
Yeah, we have to. We live
in a city.
Yeah, there's and Amy's food in particular, we can't find it anywhere. It's always sold out everywhere. So sometimes we have to go to PetSmart.
Yeah, and it's either that or pay like 10 times more to somebody who buys a bag or 2 every once in a while on the internet.
Yeah.
It's not our thing. But again, support love, guys. It's Valentine's Day. Please enjoy yourselves. Indulge responsibly. I know a lot of people like to drink wine. That's what we're going to do. Indulge responsibly. Please donate. Speaking of my story, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
We hit $600.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. Sorry to leave you all pondering the universe and the asteroid.
But I think it's important, and I know I'm probably going to get hate for the politicians suck. I don't care if they do suck. They're both terrible. Our last president was terrible. The current one's going to be terrible. They're all terrible. They're terrible at their jobs. Everyone has complained about everything since I was born. Nothing's ever been enough for anyone. That means they all suck. That's how that works, right? If everyone in class gets a bad grade, it's probably not all the kids. It's probably the teacher.
Yeah, that's I try to just not pay attention, and I pay attention when
Sorry, dog is screaming upstairs.
I pay attention around election season when when I can actually go vote. But aside from that,
Vermin Supreme. Just vote for Vermin Supreme. Look him up. He's a fun guy.
He is a fun guy.
Dental care for everyone.
Yeah,
and a pony for everyone. Pony-based energy sources.
But don't you get executed if you don't take
on your
care
second
of your teeth?
on your second offense of not brushing your teeth? Yes. First time is mandatory jail sentence with forced labor.
Hey,
brush your teeth, people.
Anyway,
we love you guys.
Unless people in here are a politician, I don't think you'll get any hate. So,
yeah, watch the comment
true.
section. Watch the comment section after this video posts. Excuse me, you're both pieces of crap.
I delete all those comments.
We just ban them. I don't care.
My favorite. Okay, we'll leave you on one last funny story. My favorite comment. I had 2 comments this week that I feel shame to these comments. One of them was, "Those tattoos do nothing for you." Tank top on, and you can see all my full sleeve. Yeah, somebody commented.
Yeah, they're not doing anything for me. Oh. They don't make muscles look great or anything.
Somebody said those tattoos do nothing for you. And then I got another tattoo that said pink hair and buzzwords. I already know your agenda. And I'm like, what is my agenda? I'm teaching Etsy.
I have 0 agenda. My agenda is I hope all of you get rich someday. And I'm going to try to get rich making you rich. That's literally the job of a good teacher.
Right. I hope that we can all make money from our passions. And I'm sorry that Mark and I make money from our passion, but we hope that you do the same. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing. You should make money from your passion. I went to school to be a teacher, and I realized that teaching in a classroom doesn't make very much money. So I put it online, and teaching online works a little better. And now I'm teaching some of my old teachers who I went to school with, who, taught me. I'm teaching them. So anyway, we love you.
We love you. Be a positive influence to somebody today. Go out and tell someone that they're awesome. Tell someone that they're pretty, and have a good Valentine's Day.
Absolutely. Go make somebody smile. Make sure that,
please,
if you're going to the grocery store, compliment somebody. I challenge you to compliment somebody, even if it's just hey, oh, cool earrings. Oh, I love your hair color. Compliment someone.
Know your audience. Know who you can approach. Obviously, don't just approach anyone. I know if I approach like a 20-year-old chick and I'm like, hey, you're cute.
Nice hair.
Probably just going to get hit. Know your audience, but make someone smile today, please.
Exactly. Yes.
How dare someone be happy? I know. I'm about to go get happy right now. It's Valentine's Day.
Well, you're
time for the camera to go off, baby.
I gotta record, Mr. Moore.
That's on the OnlyFans. We love you guys. We will see you on Tuesday and next Friday for the next stream.
Oh, Tuesday's video. Make sure that you tune in for this one. It's where I go over the article that everyone's freaking out about, saying that the Etsy algorithm has changed. In that, I will be discussing what new things Etsy has told us impact our search ranking. But nothing has really changed. It's just things that they're being more transparent about. So
also, I've tried them. Anybody who was curious for their glasses, Jinkies are awesome.
Jinkies, the glasses cleaners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks really nice on camera. Look at that.
It looks like a whole hot dog.
Looks like a whole hot dog. Not a hot dog whole. That's a different thing. We love you guys. We will see you later. Bye-bye.